Nikon has long been a powerhouse in the world of professional photography. For decades, it has produced cameras that defined entire eras of photojournalism, sports, and wildlife work. With the shift to mirrorless technology, however, Nikon found itself playing catch-up against rivals like Sony and Canon, who were quicker to adapt and expand their ecosystems. The Nikon Z9, released in 2021, was a bold response to this challenge, a no-compromise flagship designed to show that Nikon still belonged at the very top of the professional imaging market. Now, attention is turning to its successor, a camera often referred to as the Nikon Z9 II, or Z9 II in some leaks. Rumors and credible reports suggest that this model could arrive ahead of the 2026 Winter Olympics, an event that historically pushes brands to unveil their most advanced gear. If the information being circulated is accurate, Nikon may be preparing to deliver one of the most ambitious pieces of photographic technology ever produced. At the heart of this excitement is a feature that has eluded camera makers for years: a full-frame global shutter sensor. For those unfamiliar with sensor design, most modern digital cameras use what is known as a rolling shutter. This type of sensor reads image data line by line, moving from the top to the bottom of the frame. While efficient, it can introduce distortions when photographing or filming fast-moving subjects. A soccer ball kicked across the frame might appear warped, or a rapid pan during video could create wobbling artifacts. These issues, collectively known as rolling shutter distortion, have long been a frustration for professionals working in sports, wildlife, and action-heavy filmmaking. A global shutter changes everything. Instead of scanning the scene line by line, it captures the entire frame in one instant. This eliminates skew, wobble, and other rolling shutter artifacts entirely. The implications for high-speed photography are enormous. Whether it is an Olympic sprinter exploding off the starting blocks, a hawk diving toward its prey, or a Formula One car screaming through a corner, the ability to freeze motion with perfect accuracy would give photographers new creative and technical freedom. Filmmakers would also benefit, gaining cleaner motion capture without the distracting distortions that rolling shutters can introduce. The excitement around a global shutter is matched by an awareness of its challenges. Historically, sensors using this technology have struggled into key areas: low light performance and dynamic range. Rolling shutter sensors have been refined for decades and deliver excellent performance across a wide variety of conditions. Global shutters, by contrast, have often lagged in shadow detail and the ability to handle high-contrast scenes. For Nikon, the question is whether it can overcome these limitations in a way that does not compromise the professional-grade expectations of its audience. If the company succeeds, it will not just match competitors but leap ahead of them, setting a new standard for flagship hybrid cameras. Resolution is another aspect where the rumored Z9 II strikes a careful balance. Reports suggest the camera will feature a 45-megapixel sensor. This is a sweet spot for professionals who need versatility. It is high enough to deliver detailed stills for large prints and demanding clients, but not so high that it bogs down burst shooting speeds or overwhelms processing pipelines. The original Z9 was already praised for its speed, delivering 20 frames per second in RAW. Early whispers indicate the successor could double that figure, achieving continuous RAW bursts at an astonishing 40 frames per second. For JPEG shooters, the numbers being discussed are even more extreme, with talk of up to 240 frames per second at full resolution. These figures are not simply headline-grabbing. They reflect the needs of professionals who operate in environments where missing even a fraction of a second can mean losing the defining shot of an event. Consider the demands of Olympic coverage. A sprinter's decisive lean at the finish line lasts milliseconds. A gymnast's mid-air twist is over in the blink of an eye. Wildlife photographers face similar challenges when a bird takes flight or a predator makes its move. Having a camera capable of this kind of relentless capture speed ensures that professionals are not just lucky to get the moment, but fully equipped to document it with precision. In this regard, the rumored specifications of the Z9 II would not just keep Nikon competitive but potentially give it an unmatched edge. Another feature expected to appear in the Z9 II is pre-capture RAW. This technology allows the camera to begin buffering images before the shutter button is fully pressed. It means that even if the photographer reacts a split second late, the decisive moment can still be captured. Bird photographers in particular have been clamoring for such a tool, as a bird can leap into flight with no warning, leaving even the most skilled shooter caught off guard. Sports photographers too, who often rely on anticipation and reflex, benefit from having that slight technological cushion. What makes this inclusion both exciting and controversial is its history. Nikon introduced pre-capture RAW to the more affordable Z8 through a firmware update but excluded it from the flagship Z9, which angered some users. Critics argued that this was a deliberate withholding of features to create artificial differentiation between models. By bringing it to the Z9 II, Nikon may be seen as correcting an earlier misstep, though the sting of that decision still lingers among early adopters. Driving all of these advancements is the company's next-generation processor, reportedly named XED8. This chip will be essential in handling the immense data throughput required for global shutter readouts and ultra-fast bursts. Processing power has become as critical as sensor design in modern cameras, enabling not only capture speed but also advanced autofocus, subject recognition, and real-time adjustments for video. Speaking of video, the Z9 II is expected to build significantly on Nikon's already impressive achievements. Reports suggest support for robust 8K recording, high frame rate for K modes, and the introduction of Nikon's new log profile, and Log 2. This profile promises improved dynamic range and greater flexibility for color grading, giving filmmakers more control in post-production. The inclusion of improved thermal management is also anticipated. The original Z9 faced heat-related limitations during extended high-resolution video sessions, an issue that Nikon has reportedly studied and addressed with prototypes such as the experimental Mooncam, as shown at CES 2025. Lessons from that project are expected to find their way into the Z9 II, resulting in longer and more reliable recording sessions. No flagship camera exists in isolation, and Nikon is well aware of the competitive landscape it faces. Canon is preparing its EOS R1, while Sony is rumored to be advancing its Alpha 1 line with new iterations. Both rivals bring not only powerful hardware but also robust ecosystems of lenses, accessories, and third-party support. Nikon has made progress in expanding its Z-mount lineup, but it still trails in some respects, particularly in terms of third-party lens availability and the speed of firmware updates. For professionals, these ecosystem factors matter just as much as raw specifications. A camera may boast cutting-edge technology, but if the lenses, adapters, and accessories needed for a workflow are lacking, adoption becomes more difficult. Pricing will play a critical role as well. The original Z9 launched at $5,499, a figure that already positioned it as a serious investment. Economic pressures and inflation have only intensified since then, and with competitors expected to price their flagships in the range of $6,300 to $6,500, Nikon is likely to land between $5,999 and $6,499. For professionals, this cost can be justified as a tool of the trade, an investment in their ability to capture work that pays their bills. For enthusiasts and hobbyists, however, the price is daunting. More importantly, the complexity and bulk of such a camera may actually hinder rather than help those still learning their craft. It is often better for developing photographers to invest in lighter, more affordable bodies paired with excellent lenses, rather than chasing the prestige of owning the most powerful model. So, who is the Nikon Z9 II truly for? The answer is clear when considering the features and their intended applications. This camera is designed for working professionals whose careers depend on absolute reliability, speed, and precision. Sports photographers covering world-class events, wildlife photographers documenting fleeting behaviors in the field, and filmmakers demanding robust performance without compromise all stand to benefit immensely from what this flagship promises. For them, the combination of global shutter technology, blistering burst speeds, pre-capture RAW, advanced video modes, and improved thermal management could prove invaluable. For enthusiasts and beginners, however, the Z9 II is likely to be more camera than they need. Its price, weight, and complexity may not serve them well, and they would be better off choosing smaller, more accessible models that allow them to grow their skills without being overwhelmed. In conclusion, the Nikon Z9 II is shaping up to be one of the boldest statements the company has ever made. By pushing the boundaries of sensor design, processing power, and capture speed, Nikon is signaling its determination to reclaim dominance at the top of the hybrid camera market. Whether it succeeds will depend not only on its technical achievements but also on how well it integrates into the professional workflows of those who rely on their gear every single day. If the rumors prove true, the Z9 II will not just be a camera, it will be a milestone, redefining what photographers and filmmakers can expect from their tools in the years to come.